Welcome, and thanks for joining us for our beginner-friendly needle felting class. If you've ever seen adorable needle felted animals or textured wool designs using wool roving, this is where you're going to learn how to do it. Needle felting is relaxing and stress relieving to me, and I hope to share with you in this video my process, the tools I use, and how to get started, as well as a few tips and tricks that I use. Needle felting is a fiber art where you take a special barbed needle and use it to tangle wool fibers together. Each time you stab the wool, the tiny barbs on the needle grab the fibers and lock them in place. Over time, the fluffy wool fibers start to tighten, shrink, and hold their shape. Wool roving is a soft carded wool. It comes in a huge range of colors, from natural to neon. You can blend them by layering together using your needle. And you can add dimension. That's one of my favorite parts of needle felting, is you can add dimension to a two-dimensional scene. You're going to need felting needles, and these are very sharp barbed needles that come in different shapes. There's a triangle, there's a star, there's even a spiral, and we'll get into needles a little bit further on in our class. And then you're going to need a felting block or mat. This protects any surface that you're working on from getting jabbed by the needle, as well as protects your hand. Start by pulling off a small amount of roving. Less is more in this case. Roll it lightly in your hands into a rough shape. Now begin poking it with your needle. Use short vertical motions. Keep your fingers away from the needle's path, and make sure that you're aware of where your hand is. To shape it evenly, rotate the wool as you go. To attach the wool to a flat surface, like felt or wool fabric, poke through about 1/8 to a 1/4 of an inch so the fiber grabs onto the background. Let's take a minute to talk about how the angle of your needle affects your felting and how to use it to your advantage. You'll notice in this diagram there's 3 different angles. At 90 degrees, your needle is going straight up and down. This is a great way for you to deeply anchor the roving or build a really firm base. It's your go-to for shaping and securing core wool. But keep in mind, this angle also leaves more noticeable puncture marks. It also pulls more of the wool down into your background. At the middle angle, or 45 degrees, you're working more diagonally. This angle will help blend layers together while still adding firmness. It's a nice balance, and you can keep shaping without deep holes in your project. This is a good angle when you build up volume or you're smoothing in curves. And at the shallowest angle, the 15 to 30 degree angle, you're just skimming the surface and tucking in loose fibers, and this gives your project a clean polish finish. It's not about stabbing, it's more about gently smoothing. Think of it like brushing the wool down with the barbs of the needle. The more you tilt your needle, the more gently you should poke. Shallow angles are great for detail work, but they're also where needles are more likely to bend or break, so be extra gentle. How firm should it be? I use kind of a simple test. I'm going to say it's the firmness test. Press the wool in your fingers. If it springs back quickly, it's still pretty soft. If you can squish it more than halfway through what you want it, then I would say it's lightly felted. If you're squishing it and it gives slightly, it's medium firmness. And this is good for building volume because you can still tangle your fibers easily when you poke. If it barely moves, you've got a firm shape. When you press on it, it gives just a little bit. And this is where your core for your shape is built, or you can progress after you layer your different shapes to this firm felting. And this is especially helpful when you're adding different things onto your core shape. If your core shape is firmly felted, it's hard to blend the fibers together. I recommend starting out with a medium firmness, and then after you've got your layers on, then progress it to a more firmly felted thing. This is my process. Other people could do it differently, but this is what I've used to create Midway wool needle felting projects. Use your needle like a sculpting tool. Poke deeper to flatten areas or more to one side to create curves. If something looks off, don't worry. You can always add more wool or rework areas with extra poking. Let's talk about needles. I'm going to talk about 3 specifics: the triangle barbed, the star, and the spiral or twisted needle. The triangle, it has 3 flat sides with barbs, and it's used for basic shaping and general felting. If you haven't ever tried needle felting, this is a great needle to start with because it'll help sculpt the core of shapes, and it does firm up large areas. It's the most common and versatile needle. It felts quickly and effectively with a straightforward design. However, if you're doing fine features, this might be too heavy-handed. My favorite type of needle is a star needle. It has 4 sides with barbs and makes a cross or a star shape on the tip and shaft. With more barbs, it grabs more fiber per stab, but it doesn't create as big as of punctures as the triangle needle. So I find it great for layering, for quick felting, and I use it for even fine details. The spiral or twisted needle has a twisted shaft with barbs along the spiral, and this is perfect for a very smooth finish with minimal surface punctures. It's best for refining surface texture, and it can smooth out lines or fuzz. So why use this needle? Because it will hide punctures and create a more polished finish. And there you have it. Quick crash course in needle felting. We always love hearing from you, so please feel free to drop a comment or message us on Instagram, Facebook, by email or text. We're here for you. For even more videos, check out our needle felting playlist on YouTube for project-related videos and more. Thanks for watching!